Hey, and welcome back. It's Keith here again, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to configure your screen reader, NVDA screen reader, to give you a better workflow inside of your text editor when writing code. And then I also want to show you where I will be storing files and code documents for you to download that we I'll be working on. So like for example, in this video at the end, we're actually going to run our first program. Um, I've already written the program and then I'm just going to walk you through it. And then, like I said, I'm going to show you where you can download it. That way, so you have something that you can open up and run and play with if you've already studied up some. So we'll go ahead and get started now. I have my screen reader running because I want you to hear the process through showing you the NVDA settings, and then we'll move on to read through to go get that link for the Hello World application. I'm gonna show you our first program. So, and then what I'll do is I'll mute the screen reader on your end before we start that process. So, first thing you want to do, there's two ways you can get here. One way is hold down your insert key and press N as in November, and this will open the NVDA dialog. Or you can hit your hold down your Windows key and hit B as in Bravo.
Notification chevron button.
That gets you to your bar at the bottom right, and then we're going to right arrow.
User promoted notification. ATT3QE. 93% of ATT speaker slash system clock action center. Notification chevron button.
Oh, I gotta hit notifications and up arrow.
Notification overflow. Skype signed in. OBS studio. NVDA button. NVDA button.
And you hear NVDA. I'm gonna hit
NVDA
the
menu.
applications key.
Preferences submenu V.
I'm a down arrow. You hear preferences. Hit enter.
Settings dot dot dot.
Then you hear settings. Hit enter.
NVDA settings colon. General left paren.
All right, so it puts you in a list, and what this list does is you down arrow and it highlights the word, and then it opens that section below. So you down arrow and up arrow through the list, and then you tab to get to that actual section. So the first thing I want to show you is how to set your keyboard up for caps lock or for laptop, and then turn your caps lock key on for you to be able to use it as an NVDA modifier key. So if you down arrow till you hear keyboard,
Speech 2 of 14. Rail 3 of 14. Vision 4 of 14. Keyboard 5 of 14.
so here's keyboard. So we just tab from
Keyboard
here.
property page. Keyboard layout colon. Combo box laptop collapse all plus.
So mine's already set to laptop, but you can just
Desktop.
up arrow, down arrow.
Laptop.
So I put it back on laptop. Hit tab again.
Select NVDA modifier keys list. Caps lock checkbox selected check.
All right, NVDA modifier key. So I have checked the caps lock key. That's if you want to use this, you can check that too.
Speak type characters checkbox check all plus C.
And that's what I wanted to show you. The rest of this will be in a different series or just a different video altogether. Um, and that'll be coming out soon on, an overview of NVDA and some settings that I use. So the next thing I want to show you is inside of the speech category.
Select
So
NVDA modifier keys list.
I'm going to tab up and then go to that category.
Keyboard layout colon. Categories colon. List.
So I'm back in the categories. I'm going to hit the home key.
General 1 of 14.
Puts me to the top, and I'm going to down arrow one time.
Speech 2 of 14.
Hit the speech. I'm going to hit tab.
Speech property page. Synthesizer grouping. Synthesizer edit read only multi-line alt plus S.
So this is going to show me my synthesizer, and it's going to show me the speed. I'm going to slow it down a little.
Change dot dot dot. Voice colon. Rate colon. Slider 90 alt plus R.
Rate. So
80,
I'm going to put
80,
it on
80,
85.
85, 84,
We'll do
83,
80.
82, 81, 80.
All right. So what I want to show you in here is the first thing. Let's see if we get to it first or which one, but it's the caps lock. So or whenever you hear a capital letter, you want to hear it speak it because when you're writing code, you want to know when something's capital and you want to know when it's not. So that's a big deal. Everything's case sensitive. So let's tab through this.
Pitch colon. Slider. Volume colon. Slider. Automatic language switching left paren. Automatic dialect switching left paren. Punctuation slash symbol level colon. Combo box all collapsed all plus L.
Okay, we came to this first. So your punctuation level, you really want this set to all whenever you are programming because you need to be able to hear all punctuation. If there's a punctuation symbol there, you want to hear it spoken. You don't want it to miss it. So you want to set this to all, and to do that, you can just up arrow, down arrow, depending on where you're coming from, and it will find that
Trust voice tick S language.
setting all.
Trust voice tick S language when processing. Include Unicode consortium data. Capital pitch change percentage edit.
All right, so capital pitch percentage. We're not going to mess with this, but
Say cap before capitals. Checkbox checked all.
say cap before capitals. Yes, that is exactly what you want to do. You want to hear capital T.
Beep for capitals. Checkbox not checked.
You don't have to have it beep. I wouldn't, I don't because it's the beep.
Say cap before capitals. Checkbox checked Alt plus C. Beep for use spelling functionality if supported. Checkbox checked Alt. OK button.
All right, so those are the two things, punctuation and capitals, that we want to look in speech. One more thing is that we want to look in its document format. And let's go to that category.
Cancel button. Apply button.
You go
Categories colon.
tab
List.
to the categories. I'm gonna hit the end key.
Advanced 14 of 14.
Gonna give me advanced.
Windows 10 OCR.
I'm gonna up arrow
Touch interaction 12 of 14. Document formatting 11 of 14.
3 times. I'm gonna hit tab from here.
Document formatting property.
We're looking for indentation.
Font size. Font attribute. Emphasis check. Style check. Colors check. Document editor revisions check. Spelling error. Pages and space. Line numbers checkbox not checked. Alt. Line indentation reporting colon. Combo box speech collapsed. Alt plus I.
Okay, so we have line indentation now.
Line numbers checkbox.
This line numbers, it's up to you, but I'm gonna show you another way to tell wherever you're at. As far as line and position column, so column position I should say. So let's tab
Line indentation reporting
back
colon.
to this.
Combo box speech collapsed. Alt.
All right, so you have a couple options.
Off. Speech. Off.
We can turn it off,
Speech.
and I'm down arrow. I up arrowed to off, and now I'm down arrowing through the list. So you can turn it off. You can make it speak it
Tones.
or have tones,
Both speech and tones.
and then you can have both. So I just
Off.
make it speak
Speech.
because the idea here is whenever you're writing code, first of all, when you format code, in any code, you're going to see indentations where people create spaces depending on where the code is. Like when you write conditions and things like that, or functions and classes, you're putting things inside of these braces, these curly brackets. So, and you'll call that a block, and then inside that block, everything can be indented in, and then anytime something goes inside of another, like when you embed it, just you always indent. So Python though is what's called delimited by spaces, so it transfers to the next line. So if you write a condition um, in JavaScript, it separates its conditions with curly braces. So in Python, it creates, you put a colon, and then it knows what's inside of that condition by spaces. So, and you'll see that in the example program that I show you here in just a minute. So you definitely want to have that on. Now that is the um, end of what I wanted to show you for the NVDA screen reader, to optimize it, to configure it to for the editor. So it, like I said, I'll have another video to actually give an overview of NVDA and most of all the settings I use and things you can do. So, but for programming, this right here gets you where you need to be. So I'm gonna get out of this.
Paragraph. Set up VS Code and NVDA screen reader for Python window.
All right, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you where I'm going to I'm going to show you where I'm going to put any files or code files that I write for this series that I want you to have to be able to follow along. I'm going to put it on my business website under on a specific page for the YouTube videos, because it won't only be me. Right now it is, but eventually to be my business partner, and then if we once we get grow enough to have employees, if any employees want to do it, then they'll be authorized by it too. So so I'm gonna go to Google, and I will Google Chrome, and I will put this link in the description.
Google Chrome. New tab dash Google Chrome.
All right, so what we're
8%.
gonna do is we're gonna go to
100%. 0%.
Quit that. It's loading. So we're gonna go to onesourceits.com. So one ONESOURCEITS.com/YouTube
dot slash
slash
y u b u
YouTube
b e dot c o
dot
o c
not com
HTML.
HTML.
OneSourceSeeds.com/YouTube/YouTube.html selected. One Source IT Solutions video. Navigation landmark link graphic. One Source.
All right, so this is just an extension of our site. I'm going to, so if you go to the top of the page and you hit the H key for headings until you find downloads.
Banner landmark 1 Source main landmark KTV Web Solutions heading level 2. Downloads heading level 3.
All right, so we find downloads and
Click on the video title, comma, to see download links. Dot.
it says click on the video title to see the download link. So what I'm going to do here is any video I create that comes with links that I want you to have to download, then they'll be placed here. So what we're going to do
Button setups. Click on the video title, comma. Button setup screen reader for VS Code.
is you come to the button and you press enter on it.
Expanded.
It's going to open it below.
List with one items link hello line world.zip.
You hear there's only one and it's hello_world.zip. Press enter on this. And also just to note, if you have any questions or requests that you don't want to write in the comments on YouTube, maybe you want to write it in an email form, come to this page, and if you go down to the bottom, there is a, let me show you.
Contact us, have a question, comma.
You hit the H key, it's a heading, contact us. You can tab
info at onesourceseeds.com link.
and you hit our email. Now, if you hit enter on this, it'll pop up a modal and it'll be a form where you can put in your email, a subject, and a message, and you click send, and we'll get that, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
We will get back
But
to you as
let's
soon as
get
possible.
back up here to the button.
Main landmark setup screen reader for VS Code. Collapsed.
All right, let's expand it,
Expanded.
and then I'm
List with one items link hello line.
like I said, click enter on this.
Downloading, comma. 0% remaining alert. Download complete, colon. Hello.
All right, you heard it download. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna navigate to my downloads folder, and then I'm going to copy the zip file into my folder for this video. So
File Explorer window. D. Downloads check. Downloads. Today left paren. Hello line world.zip check 1 of 1.
so I'm gonna copy this, and I'm gonna exit out of that.
One Source
Alt
IT Solutions.
tab.
Set up VS Code and NVDA screen reader.
Set up VS Code. All right.
Description. Written
I'm
instructions.
gonna paste it into here.
Description. Text check. Hello line world.zip.
All right. Now I'm gonna extract it.
Open O. Open a new window. Open with Sublime Text. Open with Code. Extract all. Set up. Extract compress left paren. Zip right paren. Folders. Files will be extracted to this folder, colon.
Hit enter for the default folder.
Hello line world window.
All right. So it opens me right up to the folder. So I'm gonna
Space.
select this file.
Windows left paren.
Oh, let me get out of that.
Items view list. Hello line world. Name split button collapse. Hello line world check 1 of 1.
There we go. All right, so I'm gonna hit enter to get into this.
Items view list. Hello line selected check. Top. Hello line world.py.
All right, and you'll see a file. It's called hello_world.py. So in the screen reader reads it hello_.py or hello_world.py. So, but one thing to note, when you separate two words, like creating variables or something like that, or file names in Python, it's common practice to separate them using a underscore. Some, like JavaScript, is camel case, where you use the uppercase on the second word. But like I said, it's common practice, so it's just nice to see Python code written in that manner. So what I want to do now is if using whatever text editor you have, you can open this. You can open this in Notepad. I'm using Visual Studio Code, and I have a video on that, how to download and I'll leave a link in the description below for that too. All right, so with Visual Studio Code, I can just
Context menu.
hit the applications key or right click and up arrow till I hear open with. I'm a down arrow till I hear open with code.
Open O. Edit E. Open with Sublime Text O. Open with Code. Hello line world window. Visual Studio Code. Hello line world.py dash.
All right.
Number variables. Number right help.
All right, we've got this open. What I'm gonna do now is mute my screen reader, and then
Info
I'll
colon.
read through it,
You can change the
kind
Python
of
interpreter.
just speaking to you out loud, and then
Warning
you
colon.
can look
The
through
environment
it
variable
with
take path 16
yours,
to error colon.
either with me or after you get done. But I'll explain to you what's going on, and then we'll run it just so we can see it run.
Hello line world row. Set up VS. One Source IT. OBS 2 4.0. Audio mixer window. Volume slider. Mute tick mic slash. Properties for tick. Volume slider for tick desktop. Mute tick desktop audio tick.
Alright, you should be muted now as far as the screen reader goes. Alright, so first thing to note is when you see the number sign or hashtag, whatever pound, whatever you want to call it, before a line, that means that it's a comment. That's how you comment out a line in Python. What that means is it just gives you a way to write text into the file um, to maybe comment about a piece of code below or above, and then it doesn't get executed by the interpreter. So what I have, it just kind of tells you title, and then I tell you variables. So that just kind of gives you a heads up that the next thing coming is variables. So what I want to do is store a number for my loop controller. So when you create a variable in Python, you have three parts to it. You have the first part, which is the word controller. So that is the name of the variable. And then you have your assignment operator, which is the equal sign, just one equal sign. And then you have your value, um, which is usually one of three data types. It's either going to be a string, which is just um, any characters, um, just any set of characters, and then or numbers, and then and it's always surrounded in quotes. And then you can have a number or a float, which is just um, an integer value, and a float is a decimal. So a decimal would be a float value, and then you have a boolean, which is just a simple true or false. So um, what this is I've set an integer. All right, so now I have my messages. Now what this is going to be is I set my variable message. I set it equal to, in Python, when you start with this left bracket, left square bracket, and then end with a right square bracket, it's called a list. So inside of here, you can have different data types. So I have two strings separated by a comma because um, they these lists use what's called an index number. So the comma separates each index. So what I have here is, so I have two messages. Let's see, and then hello world. And let's see is index 0. When you do positions in list and arrays and objects, they all start with index 0 and up. So if you have two things in a list, it's going to be 0 1, not 1 2. All right, so we're going to have our loop here, and what we're going to do is we're going to run it while it's less than 2. And I made it simple like that because there's only two items in our list. Now I could have done something like, while it's less than len, and then in parentheses put, um, yeah, in parentheses I could actually put the message list. So, and then that would have worked. But I figured I'd just do this just so you could see. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna start our loop. So when we start a loop, we have a while loop here. And when you do this while loop, we're gonna say while and then controller, which is 0. So we're going to say while controller is less than 2, and then you put a colon. And this is where I was talking about earlier with the indentations, because as soon as you hear, listen, if you're listening with your screen reader, you'll hear for space, and then you hear print. So here what we have is a way to print things onto the screen as a function in Java, or not JavaScript, but Python, that you can use. So it's just print and then left parenthesis, right parenthesis, and then inside of the parentheses you can put either a variable or a string or any data type really. You just have to make sure that you do the correct syntax. So what I've done is I have printed message, and then which is a list. So that list, I can break into that list using brackets, square brackets, and then I call the index by its name, or I mean by its index position. So, and that position is the controller. So the controller is going to start at 0. So I'm going to call message left bracket position, I mean controller right bracket, and then that will give me the value in position 0. And then what I'll do next is say controller plus equals 1, and what that does is it's going to add 1 to the controller. So it's going to go from 0 to 1, and then that's actually going to end our code, because it'll come through and it'll print message position 0, and then it'll say, okay, well, it's got to check and see if the controller is still less than 2, and if it is, it's going to do it again, but this time it's going to print message and then that position 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to run this. So in a prior video we downloaded a command tool, git bash, so I'm going to use it, and then we're going to run this there. So I'm going to go over here to my folder. I'm going to deselect the file with control space. I'm going to hit my applications key. You can also right click, and I'm going to up arrow till I hear open with git bash. Git bash here is what you want to hear. Alright, so now I'm opened up inside of this folder, and what you want to type is Python and then the name of the file .py. So you type hello underscore world .py. Now I'm going to press enter on this. Alright, so it's running. I'm going to unmute my screen reader so you can hear it on my end.
Yes, space. Not checked. Mingo 64. Mingo 60.
Alright, you should be able to hear my screen reader now. So what I'm going to do is I'm up arrow to just to read the last thing I typed.
$Python hello line world.py.
Alright, so I can hit enter on this to rerun it.
Let's take SA ... Hello world bang.
Alright, it says let's say hello world. So the first loop it says let's say, the second loop it says hello world, and then we're good to go. So right there we've written our first program, and I know that we didn't actually sit here and type it out together, but this was just to get you started. I wanted to show you where we're going to be downloading our files and folders, and I wanted you, to be able to go grab it, bring it back, and just run it just to see it work. So, and if you're playing around and messing with it in your terminal and you're on your command line, you can, as if you're using NVDA and your number lock is off, then you can hit the 7 or the 9 key, and 7 moves you line by line up, and 9 moves you line by line down, and that's through the terminal. And then if you want to read character by character, it's just 4 and 6, or word by word is 4 and 6, and then the word you're on is 5, and then if you want to read the same line, you hit 8, and then character is 1 and 3, and then current character is 2. So in the next video we're actually going to write together this time. We're going to learn numbers and variables in Python. So that will be the next video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it. And if you did, like, and if you're new here, subscribe and stay tuned. I'll be coming out with more videos soon. Thank you for watching.
OBS 2 4.0. OBS. Add configurable trans durations. Controls. Stop record. Studio mode checkbox.